2 of our large anime butt tutorial. So we're looking at our mature character, this time in seated positions. So just like with all of our other tutorials, we're just going to start out with a pretty simple, easy one just to kind of give something good to reference off of for an angled position. We're just going to draw in our hips like so, keeping them relatively even. Trying to keep a soft hip line here for our mature character. And we'll mark out the unmovable sections like this. And we'll just put in a easy back, a little love handles like so. A little curve. And kind of repositioning my center line here, it's just a little bit better. There we go. Alright, so again, just like what we've been doing, we have sort of a hard object right here. She's sitting on a bench, so the glutes aren't going to go much below that. But this time, since she's got much larger glutes than anything we've drawn before, it's really going to be exaggerating how far it spills past the hip line, as well as just the overall height of the glute. So we'll kind of work with it as we go. We don't have to get this line perfectly positioned, because we're just going to kind of balance until it looks right. So this time though, because their glutes are so large, we're actually going to kind of see the tops of it too. So we're going to kind of curl this top portion like so into a really exaggerated curling like so. Keeping it relatively flat here at the bottom. And that's just because that's where the bench is. So I'm going to kind of try to keep this one even. It's got a little bit too perky. Like so. There we go. And then again, we're going to be seeing the thighs spilling out a little bit. They're not going to be super ultra exaggerated as you might think, and it's just because the glutes are spilling out so much that we're not seeing a whole ton of the quads or anything sticking out. And we'll see a little bit of the hips here. So her thighs are still poking through just a little bit, but it's not as much as even on some of our other characters, just because this time her glutes are taking up a lot of space spilling past the hip line here. And again, because she's got such big glutes, we're actually going to be seeing a little bit of the top. So we're going to just kind of follow that shape up above like so. Next, we will do that same thing, but at a slight angle. So I'm going to throw this in. I'm going to keep this a little bit low and to the side here. Again, we want this portion to be more spacious than this other side to help with our perspective on this piece. And we'll just connect these like so. Throw in the hips. Like this. Next, I'm just going to immediately throw in back marks along with the belly. Like this. Cut this off. Alright, and then we can start throwing in the glute. So keeping it real exaggerated. The glute has nowhere to go but kind of back towards us and to the side. So really exaggerating the overall plumpness of this shape here, keeping it even nice and round here at the top, so the whole thing's getting pushed. Then do this, get this off. Gonna bring this glute up a little bit just so it's more matching, and a little bit of the hip. Slightly shrink this one. Just a little too big. There we go. Alright, now we'll throw in our line art and then go over what we have done. So, again, starting from this portion up here, just trying to get the shape that we like. And we still want to make sure that we're keeping this character nice and soft looking. It's kind of the shape I want, but it's over too far, so I'm just gonna scooch it in. Like so. Drop in our little back detail here. Our hips into the love handles. Like so. Then just spilling just past the glutes, we're gonna have our thighs like this. Then we will come down here, do the same thing, just trace the shapes we like. Put in our hip. I don't want my hip that firm. Like this. And really bring this thigh up because she's got really large thighs. Give this a little back curve. Throw this in. Then we want to connect the back here, the belly. See a little poke from our hip. And there we go. So, just going over what we did. Again, just really further exaggerating the overall spillover past the thighs here for our glutes. And then even because they're being pushed up, we're even going to give a little bit of detail up here on this line, so you can really just see that there's a lot of weight being carried here. Then just a little bit of the poke of the thighs here. We don't want them too big because then it just looks like her, like you kind of have to just use your imagination here, that if her hips are here and her glutes are spilling out this far, then her thighs would be way, way, way too big if we made them spill out way far like this. It would just be ridiculously big because they're still spilling out further than the glute even. So we just want them to spill out a little bit further. Then down here, just again exaggerating what we've done before. So the glute is keeping a lot more roundness than what we would see in our other ones. It's not going to be quite as flat because it's being pushed up this way and back out this way. So because of that, it's going to be a lot more rounded. It's still going to really curve in here at the bottom nicely, but you're really trying to keep that sort of kind of perky shape of the glute. Now this one's a little bit too large, so it would kind of do something like this. I'm going to just adjust this down a little bit. So that's a lot better. So yeah, it still keeps that kind of semi-flattened curve here and then really tucks in. But you're just trying to make room for all of the mass of the overall glute. And then down here, I leave a little bit more of an exaggerated glute line here, but I still just blend in from the hamstring with a line like this. So it just starts and it blends in. But we're really wanting to exaggerate the plumpness of the thighs here. And again, we want the thickest part of the thighs to be this area right here. But that concludes our large anime butt tutorial for our mature characters. Hopefully you found this helpful, and I will see you in the next one.